Hi guys, welcome back. It's Tracy with TR's Tarot Talk 1111, here doing the zodiac sign of Sagittarius, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, and of course all cross watchers. If you resonate with being a cross watcher, just keep in mind that Spirit always knows who's watching, and it could very well play out from your own perspective, okay? If you are a returning viewer, guys, I am so grateful for you. I'm so excited about spring. I've been kind of hyped up. I have been suffering a lot with headaches from a sinus infection, stuffy nose. So it's been hard getting all these videos done, but I am grateful to be here, thankful for each and every one of you, and so blessed to be able to bring spirit messages to you. For those of you that are new, I hope you find your tribe here. I hope that all these videos inspire you, help you in any way possible. Remember that they are collective readings, so absolutely everything will not possibly resonate, but if you were guided here, there's definitely a message here for you. So take what resonates, leave what don't. If everybody would just take a moment for me, please, to hit that thumbs up. You can always go back and change it later if for some reason you didn't like the video. However, a lot of times even I forget to hit the thumbs up to support the video and the channel itself. So if you would please take a moment to do that, I would be so very grateful. For any newbies, just in case you want to follow us over into the extended version of this, there will be an extended available on my Patreon. If you don't think that you're a twin flame or on an ascension with a high-level soulmate, then the extendeds are all available at the $4.44 a month level. It's less than $5 for all 12 extendeds. You can cross-watch to your heart's desire. You can save them. They'll be there and available for months and months and months to come. Probably forever, unless I, quit doing Patreon. But if you resonate with being a twin flame, you might want to consider joining at the 1111 tier, because we're doing a 100-day journaling challenge in order to prepare for union. Twin flames are currently clearing ancestral wounds, ancestral karma, past life karma, this life karma. And so the journaling is helping us to walk through the Akashic records and kind of go back over our feelings and emotions of times gone by, I guess you want to say. So if you're interested, join at that level. And if you choose not to join, that's good too. I created that rather than charging everybody in Vimeo per recording, which can get very expensive, especially if you have a lot of different signs in your sun, moon, rising, and Venus. I don't. I have two, Cancer and Virgo. That's all I've got. But some people have a different sign in each of those and like to cross watch. So it's much cheaper to just pay $4.44 a month. So if it resonates and you would really like to follow us over there, there's a link in the description box below. There's a lot of shifts and timeline, quantum jumps into higher timelines for those who have been doing their spiritual awakening this month. A lot of astrological alignments. I'll be going live tonight, which is Monday night at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, to do a channeled message about these astrological events and an opportunity for manifesting higher timelines. If you're interested, you might want to tune into that as well. Okay, enough chitty chat. This is for the zodiac sign of Sag, and we are going to take a look at, well, we're looking at everything actually. Up here, I'm kind of set my intentions for work and finances, career. Down here is love and romance. But because I'm a channeler, I seem to give messages with all of the cards. So we'll just channel whatever spirit brings through, and the placement of the cards really aren't as important as the message themselves. All right, so your beginning of the month energies, the biggest energy we have here in finances and career is the Death card. Now, don't let this scare you. Yes, it can mean, you know, the loss of a job, or a huge shift or transformation is more likely. The death card usually depicts endings that bring better beginnings, okay? It's a cycle that you complete, and when you complete a cycle, then you get to start a new one. So there could be great shifts and changes in your finances for the better, because I'm seeing also the King of Pentacles here. So you're going to have a little bit of the Midas touch this month, which may actually be different than maybe what you're used to. Maybe you've been struggling a little bit financially, and because with the transformation that's occurring and the King of Pentacles being the energy of that transformation, I would be willing to bet that things are going to look up for you in the month of April, even if it comes with strife in the beginning, because a death card can also mean like the loss of one job and then the hiring of another one. So try to go with the flow, because the highest energy here with that death card is the King of Pentacles, and he is the pinnacle provider of the pentacles, right? He's the one that creates the 10 of Pentacles. So it looks good so far. Let's take a look at your cards. We have the King of Swords clarified by the Page of Swords. Funny, these two have been coming out a lot together in other zodiacs as well. We have the Five of Cups, ooh, with the Five of Pentacles as your current energy. And we have the Ten of Swords with the Star card. So again, a very strong, strong message here that especially if you're a student, maybe you're just completing some courses, or you might be struggling in some courses. Fives are all about change. So we've got past energy of the King of Swords and the Page of Swords. The Page for me is like Curious George. He's the student. He needs to know, right? That's his drive. The energy of the Page of Swords. The drive is, I need to know. The King of Swords, I'm sorry, is he who knows, right? Highly intelligent, highly wise, and clear thinking in the light attribute. Now, in the dark attribute, he can be a bit of a narcissist and be cold and calculating and hard to read, right? His emotions, but he's easy to read when it comes to his intentions, because he is a communicator, a very clear communicator, but he doesn't always let his emotions dictate his communication. He doesn't show his emotions. So past energy here, this could actually be a teacher with a student. So you might be in the teaching vocation, and you're dealing with, you know, younger students, or you might have actually been taking classes or courses or being mentored by a teacher or a mentor. But this is very smart, logical, clear communication. So I would say that you are either very intelligent, or you are studying something that is going to help you level up in your career, in your job. It could also mean that, you know, with these fives that you're going through, this is huge transformation. And I see that with the Death card. But it seems like it's past energy also, because the Five of Cups is past energy. It's, you know, maybe you lost a job. Maybe you had a fight with your boss, because the King of Swords can be a boss. But there's regret here. There's been some spilled cups. And so here we don't see any emotion. Here we see deep emotion. And with the Five of Pentacles, this could literally tell me that finances were not good. You were struggling financially. There's been some loss of some sort. You know, you could have lost a job. You could have, you know, had some kind of a big, like, for instance, let's say you know, your pipes froze and burst and you know, flooded your home, and you had a loss. You had a lot of financial difficulties because of that. That's just one, for instance. It could be anything. But whatever these are, this is transitioning and changing because you're right in the middle of change with the Death card and the Five of Pentacles with the Five of Cups. So whatever happened that left you feeling kind of struggling is about to change. Your struggling is going to be over. But it does seem like something painful happened. You know, you might have got a pink slip. You might, you know, still get a pink slip. There could be a very, what you perceive as being backstabbed or a traumatic ending with the Death card. But clarified by the Star card tells me this is going to end up in your favor hugely. It's going to bring about an opportunity for healing and growth and moving into King of Pentacles energy, right? Making a choice, an emotional choice too, to maybe, you know, do something that you love to do. Maybe it's going to be a catalyst for you to finally create, because the Star is wishes too, for you to finally create something that brings you emotional happiness. Because, you know, there's not a lot of motion here in the past. It's all swords. It's all, you know, air energy. And underneath the King of Pentacles is the Lovers. The Lovers is is an emotional choice. It can be in partnerships, family dynamics. It could be in your, you know, job, career. Maybe you were in a business with somebody else and the business was failing and you decide to cut your losses. It's a general reading, so it's going to be different for everyone. But I definitely see that there was a hard choice, or will be if it hasn't happened yet. There will be a difficult choice to make, but whatever choice you make is going to level you up. It's actually a blessing in disguise. And sometimes it's hard to see the forest for the trees when we're going through something that feels a bit like victimizing, which is what I see with the Five of Pentacles. You could feel like something happened to you and later find out it actually happened for you. But the Five of Pentacles is that feeling of victimization, of feeling like somebody did you wrong or did you dirty, or life is always against you, or, you know, Murphy's Law, anything that can go wrong will. But I want you to keep your chin up and focus on the future, because, I mean, your outcome cards are beautiful, right? We got the King of Pentacles, who has the Midas touch, turns everything into gold. And then we have the Wish and Healing card here, wish fulfillment. So whatever happens, try to go with the flow and trust that the divine is moving you toward much better days, better times. And there will be a decision in which you will be called to make in the month of April. And if you need guidance with that decision, you know, you can always reach out for a private reading. The link's in the description box below. Or, you know, you can ask a friend for help. Wherever you need guidance, you know, don't be afraid to ask, because there's a huge shift that is shifting in your favor. But it does come with some trials and tribulations that create great change for the better. Okay? So now I'm going to go into your relationships. Now, remember, relationships don't have to be romantic. Sometimes I read them as if they're romantic, but if you know you're not dealing with somebody romantically, it could absolutely be any relationship. It could be a friendship. It could be, you know, your work relationships, family relationships, neighbor relationships. But I usually kind of channel the romantic aspect, unless I see something really strong that points to otherwise. All right, let's take a look at your cards in love and romance. There's the Queen of Pentacles and the Four of Wands. Oh, okay. So for some of you, there might have been a rejection in your life, because I read all the cards together too, not just separately. Because we create our external validation, our external world, through our internal beliefs. And what I'm seeing here with the King and Queen of Pentacles, with the Four of Wands, is there could have been a breakup. You know, you might have, and it might possibly be with a business partner or a romantic partner, or a marriage. I mean, when you get the Four of Wands with a matched couple, King and Queen of Pentacles can be husband and wife, or divine counterparts, right? Somebody that you know is your perfect match. But it looks like there was some kind of a breakup. Maybe somebody went a little cold or communicated something to you that kind of made you feel sad, maybe even a little bit victimized. Maybe they told you, you know, they needed space, or it was over with the Ten of Swords. But I'm going to get the rest of your cards out before I channel too far. But the past here, with the Four of Wands, and now I'm not reading reversals. I'm reading energy. And, you know, your energy from the bottom of the deck, which is the strongest energy at the beginning of the month, is the Five of Swords with the Hanged Man. So it does feel like there was some kind of a communication that was difficult for you. Maybe somebody, you know, hurt your feelings, or said or did something that made you feel like, because you got 555, that's huge shifts, huge energy change. And you got all of the hard fives, right? I mean, the five, they're all hard. Five is change, you know, it's change through adversity. But with the Hanged Man, it tells me, that's another really good card. It tells me that it's like an enlightenment. It's like an advancement in your thinking. It's leveling you up from this Page of Swords to this King of Swords and King of Pentacles. It's seeing things differently. It's also sometimes an awakening, right? A spiritual awakening, a catalyst for a spiritual awakening. It's Pisces energy, and we are going to have some really heavy Pisces energy with Neptune and Jupiter. I think it's Jupiter, astrologically having like a stellium, I think, if I remember correctly. Don't check my astrology work, because I am not an astrologer. I just read stuff, and then I hear stuff through my channeling with source, and sometimes I get time to look it up and sometimes I don't. But this feels like radical change happening around your own personal feelings of self-worth. And your sense of security too. Because Four of Wands is, for me, it's a union card for divine counterparts. You might have actually met your divine counterpart and had like an awakening, a realization that this is your person. You know, it activates that 1111 portal, which means that you are now actively catalyzed, right? It's like a match striking the striker and igniting something within you that's going to create great change. But I'm not going to sugarcoat this. I would be doing you a disservice if I did. This looks like it could be a painful awakening. But it's almost like the time is now, the time is now. So yeah, we have strength with that Five of Cups again. So they are kind of, so if in your inner feelings or your inner world, you're feeling like left out or not good enough, or maybe abandoned, or just triggered, it will show up in your finances. But what I'm seeing here is your ability your strength and courage and determination to literally see the bigger picture, to see the higher realms, to see things through enlightened eyes, Christ conscious eyes, right? And it is self-mastery. It's helping you to master these emotions, and this could be patterns that you've experienced many times in your life where you felt abandoned, or you felt, like you weren't the chosen one, or you felt like life was really difficult, and everything you've ever had, you had to work so hard to accomplish. And maybe sometimes, you would just get this close to grasping the dream, and then it just fell apart on you. Whether it's it's probably in every aspect of your life, because this looks like an awakening. With the Hangman and the Death card, this looks like complete and utter transformation, which is a good thing because we are all ascending, everybody, right, into higher timelines, especially this month. We've been being barraged with DNA codes and light codes, and there's been solar flares and storms and flashes, just really kind of hammering the human species in order to wake us up to our spiritual side, to get us activated so that we can become powerful manifestors, we manifest our external reality according to our internal belief systems. And so if you've been in tragic times in your life, a lot of them, then you could have been co-creating with the universe lower vibrational experiences because of an internal belief. And so you're mastering self. And these situations, whatever they are catalysts for that self-mastery. And it's going to help you to heal, forgive, and release the sadness from all the times in your life when things didn't work out in your favor. Oh, man, big energy. So we've got Cancer's energy showing up in your reading with the Chariot. And we've got the 10 of Wands, which is Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. Underneath the 5 of Swords, we have the King of Wands, which also is Aries, Leo, Sagittarius energy, which is your energy. And I see that choice right there. There's a choice that needs to be made. And there's the Page of Swords again. I know you can't see this. I'm sorry. With the Lovers. See? So, and over here, you've got the Lovers, the Ace of Wands, and the 2 of Swords. So they're definitely connected. So whatever this lesson is, this choice that you're making, it feels to me like you might feel a little stuck. And at the end of the month, you're going to release whatever burdens that you're stuck in and be able to move forward because of the Strength card. You're actually going to do a lot of healing, personal healing. Now, whether or not you and this person are going to heal together depends on timing, right? If it's a divine counterpart, and it could be with the King and Queen of Pentacles, it doesn't matter what your zodiac sign is. It's a matched pair. It means that both of you are leveling up. Both of you are becoming in the 3D realm, because the King and Queen of Pentacles are really the masters of the 3D realm, right? They create a nice home. They create a family. They create a legacy. They create abundance. And so this person is either going to be your true love, because we have the Lovers twice, or it's going to be a huge catalyst through relationship, through love, to allow you to heal all of the burdens of the past. You got 2 10s at the very end of the month. It's a 10 of Swords and a 10 of Wands. And, endings bring new beginnings. And I see endings here. I see something ending for you. I think what's ending is a trauma bond to a belief system that you aren't lovable or necessary, or it's that victim mentality, right? Poor, pitiful me. Even if you don't express that, you might have the feelings of that, inside of you that need to be cleared and healed and expressed. All right. Unburdening you. You could very well have like a purge at the end of the month. And if you've never had a purge, and with the death card and the hangman, it could be like a dark night of the soul. But really, a purge is something where all of a sudden something traumatic happens. And all of a sudden you start looking back over your life. Well, when I was 3, my grandma died. When I was 5, my father went off to war and was gone for 3 years, 4 years. I, at the age of 7, my best friend but betrayed me, lied to me, stole from me, or maybe moved away and I lost them forever. I mean, everybody's got different traumas, right? Maybe you were abused or beaten or sexually molested. I mean, it's a rough, tough world out there. And unfortunately, it seems like children go through a lot in the first 11 years of their life. But a purge is where you start feeling victimized. You start falling into that victim mentality of all the, could have been, should have been, would have been. And you're activated energetically to purge and release and mourn and grieve all of those instances that you've been carrying around, one after another, after another, after another. All of the betrayals, all of the backstabbing, all of the burdens, right? Everything just starts healing and transmuting, helping you to lighten your load, to move forward and to ascend. I mean, to literally start raising your frequency and vibration. So this is a spiritual month for you guys. I mean, I'm seeing it, but how it's going to show up in your day-to-day living depends on you. It depends on what eyes you're viewing it from. If you're viewing it from the eyes of a victim who's heartbroken and abandoned, then you're going to go through a heavy grieving process that, takes as long as it takes. It could take a week, it could take a month, it could take 10 years, right? It won't, because we are currently going through huge ascension energies. And so, if this is new, if you just got this zap recently, or if it's happening in the month of April, the good news is that most of us started the ascension process, years ago. For me, it's been 3 years. And that's because I had a mission. I had work that I needed to do. So I needed to awaken early. So if you're just waking up, you're just going through this, you're on the fast track. It's like, going to college and they offer a 12-week course versus I don't even know how long semesters are, but, sometimes you've got to take a class for 2 semesters or 3 semesters before you get your grade from it. I know when I wanted to become a foster parent, they had I think it was like 12-week program versus a 6-week program where they like doubled it. You had to go for twice as many hours. It was a fast track, they pushed a lot more on you, a lot more quickly. And not everybody deals well with the pressure of a fast track. So if you need help with this, make sure you're not afraid to seek guidance, counseling, tarot readings, working with spiritual healers, whatever you need, because this is spiritual, guys. When you get, the death card, which is Scorpio energy, with the hangman, which is Neptune energy, big things happen. And you've got Aquarius energy, which is where we are creating the new world, is in the Aquarian age. But this is all good energy. I mean, it's negative energy that brings about huge transformation and growth toward your dreams, toward movement, toward self-mastery, toward possibly even true love. But there's a death process you got to go through first. And, you know, that can be hard. So if you need help, reach out. Now, in the 3D realm, because that was all 5D, and a lot of my readings this month have been very 5D in nature. In the 3D realm, it looks to me like you met somebody that you thought was the one. And there could have been some kind of a harsh communication that came in that triggered you. And I see that triggering is going to work itself out with the Chariot. And so there, you know, Chariot is heavy. Let me call out the majors for you in case they resonate. So we do have Aquarius, which is a major arcana. We have the Death card, which is Scorpio. We have the Lovers, which is Gemini. And we have Pisces with the Hanged Man. We have Gemini again, and Leo and Cancer, just in case that validates a circumstance for you. Now, we have all the signs here. We've got all of the water signs, which is Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio. In the minor arcana, everybody's here, guys. All 12 zodiacs. I don't even need to call them out. All 12 are here in the minors. But in the majors, just the ones I told you. So in the extended, I'm going to take a look at this hangman. This hangman tells me that there's been some kind of a waiting period where somebody, you know, maybe there was no communication, or maybe communication was paused. There seems to be an ego trigger here with the Five of Swords, which is somebody who speaks, who uses their words to manipulate. And that's hard to hear, especially if it's somebody that you care about. But the Five of Swords is manipulation. It's mind games. It's head games. And so whether you created that or they did, or maybe it's not even real. Maybe it's a perception because of a wound that you hold inside of you. You think that this person has manipulated you or is trying to manipulate you. But I'm going to be honest, guys, and I hate saying this. I'm feeling like you are trying to manipulate an outcome with this person. Like you're trying to somehow convince them that this union is meant to be. It's like you're trying to manipulate through text messaging or phone calls or social media. Because now if you're the masculine in this, because you could be either or, and I'm talking your avatar right now, not your energy, because sometimes we talk about energy and avatar don't matter. But if you resonate with being a man, physical, then what you're trying to do is convince this feminine queen that you belong together. And with the Strength card, with the Five of Cups, that also, you know, could be trying to force things to happen because you're feeling sad. And then the Chariot energy, Cancer energy, is about wanting to push things forward. And I feel like the reason why, because we've got the Hangman with the Five of Swords, they're clarifying each other. So it's this denial that you need time and space to gain clarity, to awaken, to see things with clear eyes and not just see them through your trauma. But there's a choice being made here by one of you. And the choice looks like it doesn't look like it's resolving in April. With the Two of Swords, that's somebody who's stuck in indecision. And with the Hangman, that's also stuck energy. So when I take this over to the extended, I'm going to take a look at what energy is stuck. What is causing the stuck energy? Is it on the masculine side or is it on the feminine side? Maybe it's on both. Because now if you're the feminine in this scenario, then it feels like your person, we'll just say your person, whether you're masculine or feminine, it's just the other person, not the viewer, but the other person is the one who is making things difficult, making things hard to choose. And I think it's because there's real emotions and feelings here. And that's why it's so hard to make a choice, because when you get the Lover's card, you know, in the olden days, that was called the choice card. And it's a choice in love. It's a heartfelt choice, not a mind choice. So up here, and now I'm going to talk energy, not gender. The King of Swords with the Page of Swords could be somebody in this situation who is not showing their feelings or emotions because they've recently gone through a breakup or a relationship ending, and they're in this healing phase. And this can bleed into your finances too, because if you're going through a very emotional, triggering time, then you start looking at things from the poor, poor, pitiful me, and then you're actually creating more validation in your external world for that. So be very mindful of the things that you're telling yourself. You know, don't say, well, nothing ever works out for me. Every relationship I've ever had breaks my heart. I'm always abandoned. Nobody shows up. Every time I think I've met the one, they turn out to be a player. I don't see player energy here. I see divine counterpart energy. But I'm just giving for instances. Where you place your energy is what you're telling the universe. So glass half empty means, you know, nothing ever works out for me, and the universe doesn't know your intentions. They just know what you're putting out there energetically. And so they're like, oh, well, nothing ever works out. Let's give them more reasons to believe that nothing works out. But if you're focused on the blessing, that's what the Hangman's all about, is seeing things from new eyes, new perspective. If you're focused on the blessings, like, okay, I lost my job, but, you know, I was unhappy there. It was horrible. I was constantly fighting with the boss. The coworkers weren't, you know, easy to work with. And I've always wanted to open my own studio or my own YouTube channel or my own whatever. If you can look at the blessing hidden in the strife, then you're actually telling the universe energetically to bring you more validation to prove that things are actually going in your favor. And the reason why I think you're good at this, if you try, is because we have the Chariot with the Star for the end of the month energy. And that tells me that there's a potential here for you to absolutely find balance and a wish fulfilled. But in order to do that, there's going to have to be some endings in your life that create space for a new chapter, a new beginning. Okay? Phew, that was really difficult to channel because I can feel somebody is very sad this month. I mean, we got the Five of Cups twice. We got the Five of Swords and the Five of Pentacles with the Death card, the 10 of Swords and the 10 of Wands. Something is begging to end. and to be buried. And I think what's begging to be ended and buried into the past and transformed for the future is this victim mentality. Feeling like nothing ever works out for you. You give and 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 you never receive. But there is 2 cups still standing here behind you that you're not focused on. And I think those 2 cups are this King and Queen of Pentacles. This has the potential to grow into something that actually occurs physically in the 3D world, to just manifest and materialize. But the only way to do that is both people have to be willing to release the trauma of the past, of their childhood, of past relationships, of, a core belief around things never working out for you. So if you need help, reach out, okay? Now I'm going to take a look at your oracles. We're going to get you some advice from Spirit on how to fix this, or, where you should be placing your focus, because you are trying to build stability. And if you're a masculine dealing with a feminine, the feminine is trying to build security, a safe home, a safe environment. If you are the feminine watching, then you are needing and wanting to create union, celebration, and security, safety. So it depends on who you are watching. All right, we have trust. I accept that my inner voice will always guide me correctly. And that is this Cancer energy over here, right? Trusting in the divine, trusting that everything's working out in your favor. Even if you can't see it, you can feel it. Cancers are very intuitive, but you're going to have to lean heavily on the esoteric to feel the success, instead of leaning on the material world, where the evidence hasn't yet presented itself of this huge shift. This is beautiful energy, whether you believe it or not. It's just going to be painful and hard, because there's a purge that needs to happen of a belief system that's been holding you back, or your person. If it's a divine counterpart, it's both of you. You mirror each other. So whatever traumas you have, you share in a core space. Stuck energy. Yeah, that's that Hanged Man. This is stuck energy, especially with the Two of Swords. It's like, well, and especially if you're the masculine, feeling like something you want is so close you can almost taste it, and yet it's withheld from you. It's just outside of your reach. And you could be experiencing some hopelessness, some feelings of, how do I overcome this? How do I reach that rainbow, right? But what Spirit's telling you with the rainbow over your head is that the storm is clearing in the month of April. You might actually go through a storm, but it will clear, and you will be able to see things more clearly by the end of the month if you look with the correct eyes. Now, this could be feminine energy too. I'm just seeing a man sitting on a truck, feeling like he can't move left or right, right? He's stuck there. So take what resonates. It doesn't matter who you are, whether you're feminine or masculine. If you're feeling stuck, then you're probably stuck. If you feel fine, but you're dealing with a counterpart that is stuck, not moving forward, not able to make a decision, that looks like it's going to change at the end of the month. But how that will change depends on the person, okay? Because there's a choice to be made. And in tarot, I can't tell you what that choice is, because the person hasn't made it yet. I can tell you the energy of where they might be leaning toward, but free will always trumps tarot, okay? All right, next we have pay attention to the red flags. The signs are cautioning you. Now that's big, guys. That tells me you really, really need to just pay attention to your feelings, your thoughts. Where is your mind going? You can't be your worst enemy. You've got to be your best cheerleader, your best friend. You've got to know your worth. You've got to be in that high vibrational energy. And if there's something that you can't see this month, Spirit's telling you, ask for guidance and we will send you signs. Okay? Red flags, we all know what red flags are. I'm not even going to explain it. If something feels like you shouldn't do it, don't do it. Period. Just don't do it. If you go against that inner knowing, that inner feeling, and break trust with your intuition, then, things could get murkier and harder, and it could cause delays in that decision being made. All right, next we have longing. Someone is secretly yearning for you. If this is a divine counterpart, my guess is you're both longing for each other, but somebody here is definitely not speaking their emotions. With the King of Swords and the Page of Swords, they could be watching your social media. They could be keeping their eye on you. You could be watching theirs. You could be tapping into their what you can see. But somebody is holding back their emotions and their desire. But I do see communication. I mean, I don't know that it's the kind of communication you want to get, but I do see communication. All right, next we have, is that one? Yeah. Here's the picture. It says, deep in your heart, you already know the answer. Do what feels right. Again, pay attention to the red flags. Do not go against your intuition. Do not. Because your intuition is the only way to guide you through this storm. And if you know that your person is going through something, if they're going through a storm, if they're trying to heal from a loss or a breakup with somebody else, if they went through a divorce, whatever the situation, maybe they lost their job, it could be anything. If it's the other person and you know that they're going through something, then you're going to have to really kind of trust. And don't be manipulative. Manipulation, sometimes we manipulate without even realizing that we're manipulating. Like if you want somebody to talk to you and they've clearly told you, well, I need a little time, then you can't like try to guide and manipulate an outcome. Because when you do that, you're just creating more problems for yourself. Now, be aware that your person might actually be the one doing the manipulating and not you. It depends on who you are in the story, right? This is Sagittarius energy. So, this could be the other person. This could be the masculine who's being manipulative. But honestly, it's a general reading. Just kind of know. No, if you know that it's you and you're trying to force something to happen that's not ready to happen, just know that that's going to create. So this is forcing something too. Okay. In the 5D, this is a good thing. This is self-mastery. But there's a shadow side to every card. And the shadow side is trying to force somebody to speak or to shut up or to show up. And if you know intuitively that's not the best thing to do, you could actually create more things to be sad about. Okay. All right, let's get you your last card. These ones can be read in the upright or the reverse. So however it comes out, I will read from the book. We have making a choice in reverse. I see that with the Two of Swords and the 2 Lovers. Somebody here is facing a crossroad and having difficulty. They're stuck. They don't know how to move forward. And the funny thing about that is it's usually consensual. One person is the chaser trying to make shit happen. The other one's the runner trying to make shit happen. And both are trying to make things happen the way they want it to happen, right? And a lot of times when that manipulative energy comes in, no matter who's doing it, it could cause these feelings of regret, these feelings of shame, these feelings of, wow, what have I done? What if I hurt them? What if they hurt me? And it causes this crossroads of, should I scrap this whole thing and just run for the hills? Or should I embrace this? What if I embrace it and then I end up hurting someone or they end up hurting me? And if it's in your job or your career, now if you've lost a job or if something has shifted and is transforming through an ending, then you might be forced to make a choice on, do I go into business for myself? Do I go to the higher up management and talk about my problem? Do I try to resolve it? Do I just let it go? I mean, it could be anything, guys. It's a general reading, but by now you should already know. If you're still watching, this is definitely resonating with you, and you should already kind of have an intuitive hit on what this is. So let's read the reverse. It's a number 3, and 3s are a very divine number. It's the Trinity. It's telling me that in order to make this choice, you're going to have to lean into your mind, body, and spirit, right? Consult all 3 energies. We have reverse. This is not the time to abdicate responsibility for your life. Letting others choose for you don't make things easier. Don't compromise because you're afraid of facing the consequences of your own choices. Even if you've opted for a difficult path, you can always make another choice in the future. There is great power in reclaiming your ability to choose. No one can take that away from you, no matter what. Don't give your power away. If you're willing to be rigorously honest with yourself about your own motives behind the choice you've been contemplating, you may see the need to make changes. You can change course and choose another route. Just be willing to clean up what you've left behind. So, yeah, I mean, that speaks for itself, right? Maybe you've been making poor choices because you want something to happen. Or maybe you've been making poor choices because you're afraid of something happening. Either way, Source is calling you out on your shit. They're saying, look at your motives. What are your motives? Are they of the highest integrity for both people? For both, whether it's in a job, whatever it is, what is the best thing to do versus the thing that makes you happy? Because sometimes we're not meant to have something. Sometimes we're meant to have it, but we're meant to allow the other party to make their own choices and not try to force them to make a choice. Okay? So I'm going to take this over to the extended. I'm going to take a look at the masculine energy. I'm going to take a look at the feminine energy. What does the masculine feel and whatever spirit wants to bring up versus the feminine in the situation. And then I'm going to take a look at the choice for both parties, because I don't know which one of you is making this choice, probably both of you. And I'm going to take a look at highest timeline if you focus on the positive and not the negative. Then if this is somebody you already know, and obviously if you don't know who this is, you could be meeting them in April, but for most of you, this feels, with the Hangman, it feels like somebody you've been waiting for. So it's probably someone you already know. But regardless, I'm going to take a look at that, and I will toss cards from my handmade deck that I made that's messages from your person's higher self, and then we'll take a look at love songs, okay? Get you some guidance too. All right, so I love you. I hope you want to follow me over to Patreon. It's only $4.44, but it does come with a caveat that if you resonate with being a twin flame or a sacred soulmate, somebody that you know is the one, I don't think you're wrong. With the 4 of Wands, that's the 1111, and the King and Queen of Pentacles, you're not anywhere near divine masculine and divine feminine status yet. This feels new. So this is the beginning of the journey, but you are definitely a matched pair. And Just a side note, if you're experiencing a divorce in the month of April, I see one party wanting reconciliation and the other one wanting to end it. And I'm sure you'll know which party you are. And the ending is bringing a brand new beginning. But it's going to be painful. But that's only for those of you who are married, okay, going through a divorce or a separation. Now, can it change? Yeah, people change their minds every day. But with the Death card and the Ten of Wands, Ten of Swords, it doesn't feel like if it's a marriage, because the King and Queen are husband and wife. It kind of feels like this is probably over. And I'm very sorry if that's your situation. But you know, what I see here is it's for the best. I was super sad when my marriage ended. I was broken. It took 3 years to heal from it. But I am so much better off now. I am happier than I've ever been. I've created a new life with new friends, and things are just better than they've ever been in my life. And so hindsight's 2020, right? I'm sure that doesn't give you any clarity or consolence at the moment. But being a future seer, the cards are definitely telling me that things are going to be moving forward in the best outcome, whatever that is for you. All right. So hopefully I'll see you in the extended. If I don't, if this is where we part ways, I will see you on my next upload. Okay? Namaste.